88.9 WERS.
88.9 WERS. My name is Nina, and we're here live with Polica in Boston. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Cool. So you just released your second album, Shulamith, about a couple weeks ago now, and it sounds really, really awesome. We love it at our station. So how was that recording it? What kind of goals did you guys go into the studio when you went to record it?
I think we were just hoping to maybe make something that was more intentionally for our band, and instead of the first one was a little bit more, somewhat more similar to like a demo, where it was done really quickly and sort of. And the second one, I think we wanted to sort of, go into it knowing how we play live together, how we sound together. We knew each other a little bit better. But really, we didn't have any big plans as to what we wanted to sound like or what we wanted to accomplish. We just wanted to sort of play and make music and see what happened.
So lyrically, it sounds pretty different than the first one in that both it's like a little bit easier to hear the vocals. In the past, there was like a little bit more distortion. But then also, like written-wise, the text sounds like it was a little bit more focused when you were going into that. So were there certain themes you wanted to address when you went about writing for this album?
Not really. When we write, it was very similar to the first one. We're just reacting off of the beat, and I don't go into it with a message with each song that I want to portray. It's more just like reacting off of the mood and the feeling that the track or the beat gives me. You can probably just hear it better because the first one I was just sort of like lounging on a couch, kind of mumbling into the mic, where, this one I was like, oh, this is actually like, I'm standing upright and singing, forward. So,
do you guys have a favorite track off the album, either recorded or that when you play live, you kind of prefer?
My favorite track right now is Tori. The drums on that are really banging, and it's really fun to play too.
Yeah, Tori is one of my favorite ones lately. I get to play wood blocks on it, which is fun, and we kind of play this 6/8 kind of shuffle beat. But Maddie is also a fun one. Yeah.
Spilling Lines and Tori.
All of those, yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So I know for TIFF, Justin Vernon lent a hand in that track, and also it seems with some of the rest of the album that he kind of took, not an influence or anything, but lent a hand in helping you guys out. And you just finished touring with Bon Iver, also in Europe. So what has that been like? Do you guys feel like you enjoy working with Justin Vernon? Is that something you set out to do intentionally, or was it just like a friendship that, along the way lent itself into your music?
I think Justin might be getting tired of his name constantly associated with us and other people. I think he probably wants to just be his own person. He's a wonderful person, and we're so happy to have him on that track. He didn't actually help with any of the record at all. But he's been very gracious to us and been, it was so wonderful to have the opportunity to support him in Europe, and he's always been really good to us.
Awesome. So when you guys are performing live, either headlining or opening shows, you have a really unique sound in that recorded on the album and then live, it's kind of like the instruments you expect to see when you come to the show aren't always there. I mean, on the record, there's a lot of synth, there's a lot of electronic sounds, but you've kind of chosen to not have someone performing that live and said that part's pre-recorded, but you really focus on like the undertones of that. So the bass and then drumming, you have two drummers, and then obviously the vocals. So how was that setup decided? Was that intentional that you didn't want to have someone there live doing the electronic sounds?
Yeah, because all the electronics are done on Ableton by our fifth member. I kind of think of him as a fifth member of the band, Ryan Olson, who, for him to perform, really is just pressing spacebar on the computer, and he doesn't need to be there to do it. But he writes all that stuff, he programs all that stuff, and that's how we kind of write to those tracks. Like she will write her vocal line to the tracks, and then we'll add the bass and drums on top of it later.
Yeah.
I think we definitely could maybe because he writes them on synths, and I mean, he definitely, I suppose, could play them live. Part of the point was having a really small touring party, having a group of people that work well together, more so, and also just kind of being able to have like, yeah, he didn't want to tour with us live, and he wants to, have control over it. We didn't want to bring somebody else to play his parts.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
But he is on tour with us right now, though.
Cool.
He's an opening band.
Awesome. So then also too, when you guys are performing live, it feels very, very comfortable between all of you. Just like it feels like you understand each other very well, either with or without eye contact, which normally helps a lot of bands out. And is that something that's just come naturally, or is it like a product of over the years performing more and more with one another?
Yeah.
I personally think that we've gotten, I mean, it started off pretty smooth for us. We had a record and a batch of songs done before we ever got together to rehearse or play live, but I think we were all surprised how naturally it came. But it definitely, a couple years of touring now, I personally can hear everybody on stage without seeing them. I kind of can anticipate where they're at. I can tell if they're like feeling it or not, just based off kind of what I'm hearing in my monitor. But I do constantly watch the three of them. It's never their face, I never see their eyes, but you can just kind of feel their vibe and what's going on in their head just by kind of watching their movements. I know, like when Channy is dancing and singing, I know everything's okay, but if she's, sometimes like might be kind of over listening harder, then I'm like, oh, we need to maybe communicate. Not to put it on you, but you can really kind of tell where they're at based on like what they're doing on stage, and it's kind of fun to pay attention to.
And then, so going along with that too, you have like a very distinct style when you're on stage dancing, and it's kind of entrancing to watch. Is that something that like, does it help you sing, or do you just find that it makes it easier to sing when you're dancing, or?
I think it definitely helps me to sing, but I guess I try not to think about it too much because I don't want it to be, or explain it too much because I don't want it to be too like, sometimes I don't dance that much on stage. It kind of just has to be, I just have to feel out the night, and I definitely don't want it to be like a routine. I want it to be like something that I honestly or sincerely feel, about listening, like Drew's talking about, and like being inside the music and inside all the people, you're playing with, like really feeling everybody, and then it's hard not to move.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what shoes you're wearing.
It does. Thank you, Ben. It really matters what shoes I'm wearing. If I have high heels on, I will have a horrible show and not be able to move much. Well, not horrible, but it affects greatly what I'm wearing. It's very true.
Have you danced before with high heels on stage?
Yeah, and then I'm always like, I'm never wearing high heels again. And then maybe like a month later, I'll be like, I should put these on. And then I'll be like, why did I ruin that for myself? It's high heels are sort of our band from the stage.
Do you kick them off? You always have the option of taking them off.
I do sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes they're like strapped on, but yeah, I mean, I suppose. I just don't, like, what's the point,
Yeah.
Not Beyonce, so.
Cool. No.
Tonight we're going to try those little trampoline shoes and see what those do.
Those moon bounce ones, moon shoes. Cool. Well, looking forward to it. So thank you guys very much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And once again, I'm Nina with 88.9 WERS, and thank you, Polica.